So let's make sure that the screen moves. Oops, let's do this. It's gonna let us move. There we go. So hey, Gigi, ask her to give you the green light that the screen is moving. Let's make sure the screen is moving. Just making sure the screen is moving for them. It's moving for you guys, right? So we can see it here in Dallas, but ask her if the screen is moving. It's moving?
Yep.
It's moving. Great. Wonderful. Okay. So, hey, listen, Dr. Pat, why don't we hear from Houston real quick? Have them make some noise so we can know that Houston is in the house.
It's
Wow, that is exciting. Oh, y'all better get ready, Dallas. So okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we got Dallas, we got H-Town, we got the whole nation tuning in live. So we're super excited. This is a special edition of our compensation. We're gonna do some back office training. Then we're gonna disconnect from our Houston group. They're gonna complete their Super Saturday. But we're gonna continue here in Dallas. For anyone who's listening in from around the country and they wanna stay on our Zoom, you're welcome to do so. So this is our Super Saturday Texas edition. Texas is in the house. Okay. So I really, for those of you who are meeting me for the first time, I want to say hello, hello, hello. You know, so pleased to meet each and every one of you. I guess it's called e-meet because we're not really meeting, but we're meeting over an electronic form of communication. That's the new wave of the future. So yes, my name is Melissa Boston Atoyebi. I am the CEO for Wakana for Life. I am here to help you find your purpose and leave a legacy. In God's book, a good man or woman thinks generationally. Who's ready to leave a generational wealth? Everybody in the house, right? I also want to take this time, yes, everybody, yes, yes, yes. So I want to take this time to congratulate our newest Ruby. In fact, H-Town has a new Ruby, so Dr. Rosalind Shaw Bell. Congratulations to you. Shannon King out of Chicago. Congratulations, Shannon. New Sapphire, Tammy Fraser. We're so proud of you. Dr. Betty Elizabeth Smith, our new Sapphire in Chicago. And Tamara Bibbs in Houston. We have a lot of new promotions. Hey guys, well, you know what? The person who designed this, I guess they thought we were going to have cocktail party tomorrow. I'm not going to be dressed in that dress tomorrow. So y'all can, it's going to be casual, okay? So we can just wear our nice, finest, chic attire. Our graphics people are always making us like next level, but thank you, Errol, for all your work. But hey, we're not dressing like that tomorrow, but we are having a mixer. So if you know anyone in Dallas tomorrow from 7 to 10 p.m., they can join us at the Mardi Gras Daiquiri. We're going to infuse CBD into daiquiris. We have virgin daiquiris and we have daiquiris with alcohol. So you can pick what you want. But see us tomorrow night. Those are the details there. Now, here's what's exciting, folks. There's new laws in Texas. We did say Texas is in the house, right? Yeah. Okay. So Texas law creates a new $1.9 billion cannabis market. Who wants their fair share in the state? Everybody, right? Yes, 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 yes. And so here's some facts, folks, for Texas, right? And now for Wakana, actually. So this is for all of Wakana, but we're dropping the facts right here in Texas. But Wakana, in the month of September, you know, while we see all these companies claiming social equity, but we don't see the equity, Wakana paid out 174 checks in the month of September. In fact, Wakana paid 208, that's almost $250,000 in commissions since we won. For the average diamond in Wakana, $10,000+ per month. Average earnings. Average emerald over $6,000 $6,000 per month. Average Ruby, over $2,500 per month. Average Sapphire, $1,400 per month. In fact, for everyone who got a check, the average check we paid out last month was $308, the average check. Right. We know that the average bankruptcy could be avoided with $500 per month. The average marriage could be saved with $500 per month. And we are just so thrilled to see so many of you really helping to reach your goals and dreams here at Wakana. But all I can tell you guys is the best is yet to come. Imagine when those commission checks are $250 million, because yes, it's coming. We are claiming our fair share, right, in Wakana. More facts though, guys. Now this is some facts all around Wakana, but in the state of Texas, just so that you guys know, just in the state of Texas, we paid out $118,000 in the state of Texas, right? That's actually the revenue we generated in the state of Texas, $118,000. So that should be revenue, not paid. Currently, if we look at just the state of Texas, there are 167 distributors here in Texas. There are 128 customers. So what does that tell you? Wow. This is wide open. We are at the beginning of a tsunami, right? Yes. And so what is our strategy? What is our strategy here at Wakana? We know that it's all about distribution. When you think about McDonald's, do they have the best burgers in the world? No. But why do they say billions served, right? Because they have outlets. No matter where you go in every corner of the world, there's a McDonald's, right? And so when you think about Wakana, I want you to envision this, folks. Imagine in the next few months, right? I really believe that Wakana will have more dispensaries than the state of California. Can we get an amen, right? Next year, right? We are positioned to have more dispensaries than the entire United States. And so we are here at the beginning. We have a plan and a strategy to get that done. One of the things I'm very excited about, we often share of concepts from companies that we know have great plans. And one of a company that I admire a lot is a company called It Works. Many of you might have worked for It Works, right? But what I love about them, they have a party plan. And their party plan launched them to go into hundreds of millions of dollars of sales. They kind of came out of nowhere. And so with Wakana, can you imagine the day where our business is so duplicatable? Because when you sign up into Wakana, you get your party plan box. And in that party plan box, that presentation you saw there, well, many of you don't want to learn how to do that presentation. Many of you are like, wait a minute, Melissa, if that's what I got to do, I'm out. But wouldn't you like to be able to be in your home and put a DVD for those of you who are over a certain age, right? For the millennials, we won't have DVDs for the millennials, okay? We'll use like an MP4, a little stick, every generation has something different. For those who want 8 tracks, we're not gonna have 8 tracks, right? No 8 tracks, right? But the reality is when you can make this business so duplicatable that it can actually duplicate at our lowest common denominator, which means every single person can do the business. And we're gonna show you the plan. In fact, it's so fun that we've reached the success we've reached. We didn't have a website for our first 3 months, right? We were manually having to calculate every sale, every commission, spending dozens of hours a week just trying to pay out commissions. Now with the press of a button, we can pay all commissions accurately in real time in 30 seconds. Is that powerful? So what that means, folks, is now we're ready to scale up, right? As we now have we did another remodel at our corporate office. I know you saw some of it. We did phase 2. Because in phase 2, now it's about having product to scale. Because as we're looking at the numbers right now, they're exciting. But can you imagine the day where we're doing over 2 million a month? Can you imagine the day we're doing 2 million a week? So we have a plan for that. But that plan requires really looking at how do we duplicate this business so that every single person can duplicate this business. Because it's at that point where we have that mindset. Think about McDonald's. There are 16-year-olds who run McDonald's franchises. 16-year-olds. So can you imagine the day where you're a 16-year-old, well, they can't legally be in Wakana, right? But you can tell them when they're 21, get ready, that they can duplicate this business. We all can duplicate it, whether we're 21 years old, whether we're 80 years old. In fact, Thanksgiving is around the corner. We talked today about 2 types of people. There's some people right now, you're making your Thanksgiving plans. You're making your holiday plans, and that's great. We all need to go spend time with family and friends, but guess what big corporations are doing? They're thinking about how they can get you to spend money with them on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Don't you want to have a plan so that when Black Friday happens, when Cyber Monday happens, you and your household economy is impacted positively, which means you're not just spending money, but you're making money.
Right.
How would you like it if your group over Black Friday could do over 10,000 in sales? Right. Some of you over 100,000 in sales. Right. I truly believe that in the next few years, there will be people in this room where your Black Friday will be $1 million in sales. Why? Because we're here at the beginning, and guess what? We haven't even did a scale plan yet. And we haven't even put a scale plan in place, and we're growing 25 to 30%. Last month, we grew over 40% from the previous month. If you just do the growth projections on that, do you know where we would end up if we did nothing else but just stay at that same number? Wow. But we do know that with this whole plan for massive production, there are going to be months we double. There are going to be months we triple. There are going to be years where we have 4-digit growth. Are you happy that you're here with us? Yes. In the beginning of the beginning? So Thanksgiving specials, holiday specials. We have new products that are launching. In fact, for those of you here in Dallas, you had a chance to see our pre-rolls. And some of y'all were like, wait a minute, how much THC does that have? Because it looks like a marijuana joint, right? It's not a marijuana joint, it's legal. I brought this through the airport, okay? Legally. And everybody at the dispensary was like, you can't take that to the airport. Yes, you can. Why? Because this is a CBD joint. And a CBD joint works so effectively. In fact, Dr. Rita's been telling us the best way to take the flower in is the flower buds itself. Yeah. Wow. So someone here in Dallas, and we're going to send one to somebody in Houston, so y'all can do a drawing too. We'll send them one. We'll win.
We actually have one here.
Pre-roll. So you already got one, so do a drawing, right? So we can do a drawing so that everyone can have a chance to win a pre-roll. So new products that are launching, so excited about that. So let's look at our party plan so that you can see the vision of where we are going, more importantly, where we are growing, okay? And so our party plan may be as little as $99, maybe as much as $119. But imagine when you order that party plan, imagine when you get that video with the kit. So now you have your video. Imagine you have your samples of pain cream. Can you imagine if we can put our pain cream on every person on this planet? We would be $1 billion company. Why? Because we have the best pain cream. Most companies are putting things in there that help them to get a certain level of credentials, because the FDA says if you put menthol in there, guess what? We can regulate that like a drug. But guess what? We know that menthol doesn't really give the healing power of essential oils. And so we infuse our essential oils with a proprietary process that makes our pain cream better than any competitor out there on the marketplace that we've had a chance to sample. So when you have a product, and this one product called our pain cream could literally go to $1 billion by itself, and now you have the ability to have a little sample pack where now you get your party plan, and now you can sample every single person by giving them free samples. That's going to be called game over. In that kit, we talked about the gummies earlier, the delayed effect, but how they help you sleep. They help with so many, imagine samples of the gummies. So now, again, we're preparing you to scale your business by giving you what we know works, and that's samples. Why? Because samples are demonstrable. That means people can try it. And if they try it and if they like it, guess what they do? They buy it. See, I was a part of a company where a lot of my family and friends looked at me and said, that company, for you, that's not going to work. It was an anti-aging company. And they said, black don't crack, right? So they were trying to discourage me from getting in that company. When I joined the company, they were doing a couple $100 million a year. We launched a demonstrable product line where people had results in almost seconds, right? And do you know that company went to $1 billion faster than Microsoft and Apple and all those big giants out there? So can you imagine when we're demonstrating our pain cream all around the nation, folks? So get ready, get ready. But most importantly, you need a playbook. You need to be able to open up your kit and know play by play, how do I run my dispensary? How do I set up my party? What are the scripts I should use when I'm on Facebook? What if you can have a playbook that's there to guide you, Carla, every single step of the way? Carol's back there dancing. She can't even sit still. I tell you what, folks, this is exciting. So just know, if you are already excited, I know today we heard testimonials from women. Sorry, guys, we left you out of the testimonials, but next time, right, we'll bring the guys up. But we're already excited. Is it exciting to be more excited? Okay, so now that we've heard about some of the new things coming and we're real excited about the possibilities and everything we can create, we're gonna go through some very basic training, because sometimes in business, it's important for you to understand some of the basics so that you don't lose money. Nobody wants to lose money, right? We wanna maximize all the money we're supposed to get. And so this is what we call rank advancement vocabulary. We're gonna give you the vocabulary and the language you need to maximize your business. So within Wakana, there are certain terms. And one of the terms are called like a free agent, right? And so when you think about a free agent might get drafted into some type of football league or basketball, but they're a free agent, which means they're not under contract, right? They can do whatever they want. So with Wakana, we have free agent positions where you can just come and try us out for 30 days. And so if you join Wakana, and you decide to test drive this business for 30 days, you are called a free agent. As a free agent, over those 30 days, you're gonna have the ability to activate 3 levels of compensation. How do you activate those 3 levels of compensation? You have to make sure you go in and select an item to your cart. Not an item you need to pay for, but it's an item you need to put on your cart. You can do it immediately, so when you sign up, it says free test drive. You can just select it there, and I'll show you what that looks like. So right there, you can just select free online test drive. You can add that to your cart, and when you add it to your cart, it's gonna automatically make you a free agent. Now let's say you decide to bypass this, because there's a way you can bypass this, and you can just say complete registration. What's the difference between the 2 methods? If you've ever done complete registration, it doesn't ask for a credit card, does it? Right? So what we've done over the last few months, anyone who signed up for free, we had to go back and manually put the free online test drive in there for them. So don't worry, anyone who's joined us and didn't know about this process, we gave it to you anyway. But moving forward, we need you to do it yourself. Why? As I mentioned to the group here, every time we sign you up for free, we're making the investment in you. We pay to have you sign up into our business. Why? Because there's a cost factor with you joining our business. So it's our expense. We're gonna encounter for 30 days. You don't have to pay any of that. All we're doing is to make sure that people aren't just signing up bogus people or dummy accounts. You have to put in a credit card. It doesn't bill you anything, right? But it just lets us know you're a valid person, because here's the reality. If the government's telling you to spend $5,000 on an application and 750 people apply for that application, and they're telling you only 75 of them are getting approved, that means there are over 600 people who willingly give the government $5,000 knowing that 90% of the people aren't getting approved. And so if we're saying we're approving everybody, we're not gonna charge you a dime. We just need to know you're really in this and you're serious. And if you're serious, you're gonna be willing to show us you're a real person, not some computer trying to clone people, right? Put in a credit card number, show us that you're serious. And at the end of those 30 days, if you decide to walk away, guess what? You don't get billed anything. If you decide to stay, then you can choose to upgrade yourself. You can pick one of our higher levels. And so just know, when you sign up, if you don't put the test drive in your cart, you're going to be called an associate member, not a free agent. Everybody needs to go to free agent status if you're in this business for 30 days. So what is a non-qualified free agent? That means you tried our business out. 30 days passes and you decide to do nothing. We don't charge you anything. We don't send you a bill for the money we paid for you to be here. We just say, thank you for your time, and now you're just non-qualified. That's it. And so this is, again, for somebody who took 30-day test drive and decided to do nothing after those 30 days. They've not registered for our university. They've not had the broker key. They've not bought any of the packages. You become what we call a non-qualified free agent. So now, let's say you signed up for the free test drive. And let's say it was 20 days ago. Time is running out. How many more days do you have? 10 days left. And so we're gonna have a counter clock in the back office that's gonna launch in the next few weeks. So it's gonna let your free agents know. You got 9 days left. You got 8 days, 7 days, and last day, they can make a decision to upgrade, or they can just be done and never get charged the time. Is that a fair deal? Absolutely, yes. Right? So what are associate members? So let's say someone just went in and said complete enrollment, and they didn't go and add the university, they didn't add the certification, they didn't add the free online test drive, they add nothing to their stuff, right? Then they're just an associate member. Another way you can get to this status is, let's just say you took the test drive and perhaps maybe you bought some product, right? But let's say a year passes and you really did nothing with that. So at some point, we can choose to deactivate you or delete you. Why? Because we want to make sure that people who are here where we're investing in you, which means we're paying every month for your website. You don't pay for it. Your website is what? Free. We pay for your website on behalf of you. So if after so many months you just don't want to use it, then guess what? We decide to say, hey, we'll give you a chance to do something with it, but then we can deactivate you. So just know if you see associate members in your group, they're either deactive or they're deleted. Oh, you guys can't see Starbase.
They in Houston see.
Oh, that's no okay.
So the active agents, right? Who is an active agent? So an active agent is someone who's actually purchased Wakana University only. That's it. They just want to go to Wakana University and they want to earn retail commissions. So if that's, you see some people that are active agents, you just know all they're looking at is being an agent. It's like the real estate person. Some people want to sell houses. Some people want to override the world. Active agents just decide they want to earn commissions when they go out and sell the cannabis products, okay? So that is an active agent. So who are the brokers? Who are the brokers? The brokers are the people that decide they want to get that broker master key, that broker license. When you get that broker master key, how do you get that? You can buy it a la carte, or you can do what most of you have done in here. You just buy the crown jewel. Yeah. Because if you buy the crown jewel, all of these positions are included. You don't have to worry about any of this. Is that pretty cool? How many of you bought a crown jewel? Raise your hand, right? Almost half, almost the whole room. Almost the whole, why? Because it just comes with all of this, right? But you need to know this because there's going to be some people in your group, they might just want to go out and find people for a business. Some people want to sell product, and that's okay. Let people fall where they're at. We don't have to force everybody to say, buy a crown jewel. Not everybody's meant to buy a crown jewel. We just know that's the smartest way to do it if you want to maximize all of your money. So if you just see broker status by itself, that basically means that person is overriding on 2 levels of commission. Because we know that in order to get level 3, you have to do what? Either come in at a crown jewel or get a 60-point order every month. That's how you get level 3. So just a regular broker is always going to earn 2 levels of compensation plan. So now let's just say you don't want to buy anything. You just want to work this business. You're like, well, isn't there a way for me to work this business without buying anything? Absolutely. There's never a purchase required if you're willing to go to work. You can just get in this business, start getting volume produced underneath you. You can go to Pearl. You can go to Jade. You can go all the way to Diamond. Is that not powerful? Strictly by working the business. And so if you want to do that, you can look at every rank from Pearl to Diamond and just see the requirements. At Pearl, we know it's just $2,000 a month in sales. At Jade, it's $5,000 a month. So when you're bringing sales to us, we're going to rank advance you and we're going to pay you because we want to make sure the average person can always win here, whether they ever spend a dime with Wakana or not. You might also look in your back office and see something called broker number 2. What is a number 2? It just basically means they're also qualified for that 3rd level. How are they qualifying for that? Because they have a 60-point order. That 60-point order every month activates that level 3 commission. Now, again, if you came in at a crown jewel, you get level 1, you get level 2, you get level 3, you get level 4, you get level 5, you get level 6 without spending anything for 6 whole months. And you can max out this plan after 6 months. What happens is you can either work your way up to those positions, but you still qualify for life to get level 1 and 2. And to get level 3, all you need to do is have a 60-point order. So as you start learning this terminology, it's going to flow from you like it flows from me, right? You're going to learn this compensation plan inside and out and be unconsciously competent. Sapphires. I know we just announced that there are new sapphires today. And it's so exciting to see people like Tammy Frazier, Dr. Betty hitting sapphire. What did they do to get to that status? What did Gigi do to get to that status, right? They had to go out there. They had to work their business and get $10,000 a month generating. How many of you would like to be sapphire from day 1? Just raise your hand. You don't want to have to go get that 10,000. You want to just be sapphire. Be honest. Raise your hand, right? Everybody wants to be a sapphire. That means you just go past all of the stuff that I just trained you on, and you don't have to remember any of it because you just say, I'm a sapphire. I don't have to know the comp plan because I'm a sapphire, right? And so when you go out and buy that $998, you're going to see the status of sapphire in your back office for 6 full months. And that just means your business is protected on every single level. And now you are maxing out this comp plan without any purchase, without anything extra required. Is that a good deal or is that a great deal? Okay. Now, if you see a sapphire and you see an asterisk by the sapphire, this means that person has actually went out there and generated $10,000 in sales. So we give you guys just something else to sweeten the deal. If you can really go out there and generate that kind of sales volume, we're going to take all the company revenue. We're going to divide it into shares. As a sapphire, you're getting 3 shares in our company paid to you every single month. So it's not like stock, you have to wait and cash it in. We cash it in for you every single month. Is that powerful? And so that's the difference with being a sapphire that's actually with an asterisk. Now you might also notice you see some people that say a crown jewel. So once you're outside of those 6 months of being sapphire, don't worry. You're always going to be treated like royalty because you started at the crown jewel level. So the only thing different that happens after those first 6 months is your title goes from sapphire to crown jewel. Is everybody okay with being called a crown jewel? That's still something we can handle, right? But some of us say no. We want to be ruby. We want to be emerald. We want to be diamond, right? We want to be 5-star diamonds. And so that just gives you a way to learn more of the business. Now you might also see that you're what we call a crown jewel limited. What's the difference between a crown jewel and a crown jewel limited? One of the things that we tell you when you come in at the 998, there's certain parts of our commission plan we grant you in for life. That means you get level 1 for life. You're going to get the rebate commissions on all your retails for life. You're getting level 2 for life. So that means if you did the 998, there's not a lot to worry about because you're grandfathered in already on several ways to get paid forever and ever and ever. But you can open up level 3 commission even if you don't earn your way through the comp plan by doing what? Having either a customer purchase from you every month on your site, or you can make the purchase yourself. Right. And so when you do that, it just gives you the ability to go from crown jewel limited to strictly a crown jewel. So if you see that difference and if it says you're limited, it just means your commission is limited. You're not getting that 3rd level. So just go ahead and place that order, get that customer, and now you're reaping all 3 levels of commission forever and ever and ever. So now we want to look at some back office basics because it's also important that you know how to go to your back office and see some of this terminology so that you can actually figure out your business. And so in your back office, all this language is there. So let's show you a little bit how to access that. So when you first open, who has their back office already activated? Who's already got a website? Raise your hand if you have a website. Oh my God, like the entire room. Get that for yourself. I think that is exciting. So when you go to your back office, okay, we make everything as simple as possible for you. You're going to be able to go to your back office. You're going to be able to see how many customers do you have? How many distributors do you have? You're going to be able to see your sales, your points, and you can even go see what commissions you're earning right there in your back office. Now, one thing I will point out, for some of you like Gigi, who you build a team of probably a few hundred by now, or at least 100, guess what? You might notice that it might say 13 distributors. Like, well, why does it say 13? I have 100 distributors. The dashboard is there to help you navigate on what you should be focusing on. See, a lot of times people worry about the wrong things, right? You're at home wondering, well, why didn't my group work? I only made $20 today. You should be out there doing what? Helping to get the business going. Right. And so in your back office, we want to put that snapshot on where you're contributing. So what you're seeing when you see customers, those are your personal customers. It doesn't tell you all the customers in your group. There's a way to find that. But the dashboard is only reminding you of what you should be focused on, which is how many customers you're bringing in every month, right? Distributors. That's going to only show you the distributors you personally sponsored. Why? Because in business, you must always be recruiting if you want to go and go diamond. See, a lot of times people will try to tell you, oh, put a couple people in, then they'll put a couple people in. How many of you know someone who put 2 people in the business and 5 years later they're rich? No, that's not how it goes. The people like Phyllis, the people like Dr. Pat who are crushing it in this business, the people, like Gigi who are crushing it, they're crushing it because they recognize you have to always go out and find new talent. So we're putting your personal sponsored people right there under distributors. Now you're probably wondering sales. So I'm sure Gigi, you probably looked at yours and was like, wait a minute, this is good, but I know I sold a lot more collectively. Right there, we're only showing you either your personal sales or the sales that are happening with the people you sponsor. Why? Because again, if you go out and help your people that you sponsor, and then you teach them the right behavior, they duplicate that, you will build a diamond business. So remember, the purpose of this dashboard is to just remind you on a daily basis of where you should be focused. Because if you go break it down, it's gonna tell you, here's what you sold today. Here's what you sold this week, this month, this year. It's giving you every scenario so that you can start tracking your success and building off the next month. Now you're probably wondering points. I probably have more points than that. Why does it say 862? Because that's what you purchase personally. So anything that says points right there, it's gonna be on what you purchased personally. And then of course your earnings are gonna show you what you've earned all the way up until this point. And so for this particular distributor, it says for that period, they earned $5,796. That's a pretty good commission check, right?
Yeah.
And now, since we launched this training, we've released all the commission. So you might look in your back office and see all your money like, oh my God, I didn't know I earned $4,000 with this company. It's so exciting because these are features we just finished building in. So you can look and notice there's a place to place an order. You can manage auto ship if you want. There's no auto ship required, but that's an area that you might want to look at if you want to buy a certain product every month. You can view your team, look at your commissions, and earn events. So everything in your back office is designed to be user-friendly. And so now let's go ahead and look at one other feature. So there's an area, if you notice over there to the left, it says My Team, right? So My Team is a way you can see what's happening with your team. And someone just mute out for me. Somebody needs to mute out. So My Team is the area you can go and see what's happening with your group of distributors so that you can see the whole volume, right? So there's a couple of areas to pay attention to. First, you can go all the way down to where it says unilevel leg volume. So if you're working for Sapphire, if you're working for Diamond, unilevel leg volume is one of the areas that will help you. It's gonna let you know. It's gonna let you know what Carla's doing. It's gonna let you know what Gigi's doing. It's gonna let you know what Carol's doing so that you can see what's happening in the different groups that you have brought on board this business. And again, it's My Team and then what? Unilevel leg volume. That's one of the questions I get most frequently. I can't see what's happening with my distributors that I brought on board. And if I told you today, unilevel leg volume, that means next week, don't call and ask me. Unilevel leg volume, right? So there's another thing we can look at, right? Another thing we can look at is under My Team, we can look at something called Data Viewer. So write that one down too, because that's very popular. People love to look at their Data Viewer. So under your Data Viewer, what's exciting is you can now see, oh my goodness, here's the sales of everybody that I brought in. Here's the sales of everybody they brought in. Here's the sales of everybody they brought in. You can go down unlimited levels and track every single sale that's happened in your organization since the beginning. So when you see those numbers, a lot of times people look at the numbers and they think that's all there is. Why? Because once we are at a certain age, our mind thinks we can break stuff, right? So we don't press and click. A 7-year-old gets your phone and presses everything, right? We're not gonna break this. So that means you can push on everything. So if you start pushing on these numbers, you can go see, oh my goodness, what did my team buy? If they're out of state and the order had to get shipped, you can actually go see that the order was shipped. So you have a way of managing and navigating your entire team right here from the back office. And what's the report? Data Viewer. Let's say it again. Data Viewer. So next week, when you want to find out what your team is doing on the 4th level, don't call me, because I'm going to tell you we trained on this, and it's called Data Viewer. Very good. And so now that we've seen that, all of a sudden you might also notice some terminology that you got to get used to. There's some terminology that says sales volume. What does sales volume mean? Sales volume also stands for SV. It just means everything that's happening. The banners, the t-shirts. We know that in business, you have to have the right team of attorneys, right? You have to have the right infrastructure. And one of the great things about this is the co-founders of this company, we have a combined over probably 100 years of experience in direct selling. We have attorneys that have over 100 years combined experience in direct selling. So we make sure from A to Z, Wakanda is always legally compliant. Now, if you know anything about the Amway days, one of the things they did was they were selling tools and tapes and paying commissions on that. That's illegal. You have to pay commissions on products. And the best type of product is a consumable product that people buy month after month, not sales tools, because that's something that really is designed to just help them succeed in their business. And so when you look at sales volume, it includes everything. When you look at points earned, that's the terminology that you need to look at when it says points earned, because that's going to show you, hey, did I reach my 10,000 for Sapphire? Did I reach my 25,000 for Ruby? Did I reach my 50,000 for Emerald? So just always remember, points earned are going to give you what you legally are able to earn commissions on, which is all the product sales that you have, all the dispensary sales. And so that's the difference. Your sales volume will always be just slightly higher than your points earned, because typically people in your group will buy something like a tool on a monthly basis just to help prepare their business. And then you might notice something called CV. That's commissionable volume. Just know that CV is already included in your points earned, but we want to break it out so that you can look to see how many retail customers are buying every single month. Because we know that one of the biggest factors for any company is to have more customers than you have distributors. What's exciting about Wakanda, when we first launched in May, guess what happened? We were focused on distributors. Why? Because we didn't have a website. Customers need a website. So that month we enrolled the distributors, preparing for the future. Now what's exciting is we're enrolling almost just as many customers as distributors, which means our customer distributor ratio is going to be through the roof. Why? Because our business model was set up that way. How was it set up that way? We made it so that everybody pays the same retail price, whether you're a customer or distributor. The difference with distributors, you get commissions back on your own purchases every single month. Why did we do it this way? When we looked at some of the biggest companies in the world, they're moving that way because most of the older companies, they have a problem right now. They have more distributors than customers because they give wholesale pricing, which makes everybody want to be what? A distributor. And they violate the law and they constantly get sued by attorney generals. So again, when you build a company, you got to build it with the end in mind. What's our end result? Our end result is for you to go out and have 1,000 customers for your dispensary, because that is a legitimate dispensary because it has customers. If it's all about building teams, guess what? That's a pyramid. This is about an infrastructure where we're going to put a certain number of distributors in this business. And now we're going to teach those distributors to go out and build customers all around the world. And how are we going to do that? By delivering first-class service. How are we going to do that? By showing them our company is giving back to the communities in which have truly been the victim of the war on drugs. How do we do that? By offering free shipping, right, to their door. How do we do that? Offering focus groups, becoming the different company that's out there that's making a difference in the community. And so you can be a dispensary owner that has true customers and true residual income, because here's what we know, distributors will come and go. But once a customer is on your pain cream, they will hunt you down for that pain cream. Once they're on that tincture and they're sleeping at night, their anxiety is improved, they will hunt you down. They don't care about the compensation plan. They don't care about the website. All they care about is their product. And we build first-class products combined with the first-class business opportunity. That means we're going to build distributors. They're going to be some of the highest paid dispensary owners in the world, right? So we're excited about that. And so here's some other cool features. One of the things that we did, we went back to look at what are the greatest technologies out there. When you think about Wakanda, Wakanda was about driving technology. They were leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else. And when people see our website, they're like, this is unlike anything we've ever seen, because welcome to Wakanda. That's what we do. We're out there to put the best and the latest technology that companies are now trying to catch up to. And so when you go pull our reports, just know you can pull it up. As you're building distributors around the world, you're going to be able to see the country flag by their names. When they come in from Nigeria and New Zealand and Australia, how exciting is that? One of the things to remember is when you're playing around back there, you're going to see something called weekly, and that weekly is going to get you in trouble because that's a part of something that's being phased out. So always bypass weekly. You want to write this down and go to unilevel. When you see the word weekly, bypass that and find a way to click on Unilevel. As long as you're clicking on Unilevel, you're always going to see everything correctly as it's supposed to be. And probably within the next 2 weeks, that weekly function will be completely phased out of the back office. So when I go to my team report, when I put in distributors POV1, because I haven't changed it to Unilevel, it shows everybody as associate members. Now I know that's not true. That's a feature so you have to click Unilevel. When you click Unilevel, guess what happens? You can see the rank of where every single person is, whether they're at Sapphire, whether they're at Broker, how they came into this business. The other thing you should do is when you go to the My Team report, you want to also look at distributors POV2. Why do you want to look at POV2? Because POV2, if they upload their pictures to their website, because just know with our website, for those of you who've test driven it before, you can put your own picture. You can put your bio. You can make your website unique. You can put events. You can customize your website, right? And so when you click on POV2, it's going to show you the birth date of everybody who you sponsored. It's going to show you how many distributors they have, how many customers they have. It's going to show you their current rank and what the next rank they're working towards. So it's a way for you to have a complete data viewer of everything happening in your back office. Just know that right now I'm only giving you about 12% of what's coming to your back office. And at 12%, we're already better than 98% of the companies out there, right? Because again, we say welcome home to Wakana, right? So that you can truly be a part of the best and have technology that's here to move your business into the 21st century. So earnings, that's the biggest question. Show me my money. Everybody wants to go to their back office. They want to see their commissions, how much they earn. What's unique about the Wakana website, which is really, really cool. Yes, you can go click on earnings, right? And when you click on earnings, you can see, wow, for the month of May 1st through May 31st, this particular person, it says $6,122. Now, here's what I will say. These income earnings they're not projections of what you will earn. Your efforts and results will depend on your effort that you put into the business. Right. What I'm showing you, one, the possibilities, and two, the functionality of what's back here. So if you click on view, that little button right there, that will allow you to go break down and see where every penny came from. You can see where you earned $200 from, who you earned $50 on, the shopping they did. You can have a full breakdown of every dollar coming into your organization that's happening to you in real time as it's happening, right? And so we're excited about that. In fact, you click that, and after you click it, it's gonna say, wow, your rank for this period is Ruby. You earned a total for the period of $6,122.34. It's gonna then say, you can look at your bonus pool money. You can click on Unilevel new multi-tier fast start button. That means all the dispensaries that are being sold. You can see all of them that are right there in your back office. All the Unilevel rebate bonuses, that basically means if it's a rebate bonus, those are your customers. So you can see if you had any customers that purchased retail for the month and what you got paid on. And then if you click on where it says Unilevel, the very first one, that's going to show you your whole team and all the shopping that's happening and all the commissions that you're earning from all the shopping that's happening in your entire team. Now, is that not great or what, right? Next level, right? And so if we go to the next one, this is something we're truly excited about because Wakana, we knew we were going to create our own bank. We just didn't know it was going to be that fast. So we now have the Wakana Bank, right? And so with the Wakana Bank, what that means is we literally, it's on, right? Yes, it is. It's on and popping. So basically what that means is now whenever commissions are generated every single week, we have the capabilities of taking those commissions and dumping them right into your own Wakana Bank with your own login to your wallet. And what that means is you can look at that money. Let's say it's $3,000, $4,000. You can say, pay me to my bank, right? You can say, hey, I want to use some of this for product. You want to check, you can request a check. You can take that Wakana Bank money and do what you need to do with it, right? I know, right? Amen, right? So that is a feature that's back there now. So it's already there. And now the first funding of that, because we now have been doing these checks. So all y'all whose names I called, y'all can come get y'all's paper check. And if y'all still want a paper check, we'll get you a paper check. But some of y'all are going to want to move to the new digital age of finance, right? Anybody wants to move to the digital age, get your money in real time, right? So we are there, guys. We are there. And so again, you come here, you're going to be able to see what's in your account. You're going to be able to see your history, all the money that's back there. If you're using it to pay for product, you can see everything as it's happening in real time. And so with that being said, that concludes our portion that we were online with for Houston. So we want to go ahead and give a big shout out and a big applause for everybody that tuned in with us. Give a shout out. Because now we're about to go into a special strategy session for all of you social media moguls who want to take it to the next level. So with that said, we're going to take a 5-minute break and then we're going to be back. So thank you so much, H-Town, and everyone for participating.
All right. Yes, yes. So anybody have any questions?
Like this.
Senator Pat, it looks like you have to unmute.
Oh, hi. Was there a question? I heard Willie. Willie, was there a question I missed?
It looks like, no, I didn't have one, but it looks like Senator Pat was trying to look for.
Oh, she was trying to ask a question. Yeah. Senator Pat, if you have your question, you're muted, but we can answer.
She's unmuted. Okay, cool.
Somebody was just asking where we're going to have the credit cards.
Yes. So let me talk about the credit card option. So right now in the cannabis space, Payoneer and all the big pay credit card companies don't allow us to do an electronic debit to a credit card just yet. That's coming. But the only reason why we're not at this moment is because it's against the law. But soon, yes, we will absolutely have that.
Are you asking about the e-wallet? Okay, so tell me your name. So Catherine wants to know is if she's able to transfer the money from her e-wallet to a bank.
Yes, and so basically the way it works is you're going to be able to either request the funds as a check, or we're going to have like an ACH debit to your bank account, and you'll be able to set all that up. So yep, that's a part of the functionality that will work. So those are the two ways that are able to do it with legal compliance. Credit cards will be soon. Yeah.
Any more questions? Yes, tell me your name. So the question is, when she's checking about her commission, she sees May and September only. How can she see June, July, and August?
Yeah, so tell her at the dashboard, you can actually see your total earnings right now. And right now we've released May and September. The other months, where they're back there, we just haven't released them. So you'll be able to see those as soon as we release those. So, and I guess we could probably do it today. So just so everybody can see. So we'll release those today.
Okay, great. See, great question. You put all this up for everybody. Anybody else have a question?
Oh, 1 second, make sure they have more questions.
I don't know, Melissa, if it's possible to go back to the slide where the CV, sales volume, and points are. If you can just go back to that slide.
Yes, we can go back there. So I'm here now.
Mary Jones has a question too on the bottom of the screen.
So sales volume, this includes all of your volume, your banners, your t-shirts, and non-commissionables. Points earned.
I'm actually talking about the chart. The chart. Yeah, the chart in the back office that has these on it with dollar signs next to it.
Say that again.
You know, the chart that you showed what was actually in the back office?
Yeah, the
Somebody-
unilevel the data viewer.
Yeah, data viewer. Can you take us back there?
Yes. Yes. 1 second. Oh, wait, 1 second. One second. Oh, there you go, data viewer right here. So here's the data viewer right here. So it says sales value. This is your sales volume. It says CP, and then it says points earned. So there's 3 columns. So when you're looking at that, definitions apply to that area right there. And at the bottom, you would see a
Yeah,
total.
a lot of background noise.
Background noise. Let me get the noise out 1 second. There we go. Okay. So basically, these are the 3 columns. Let me move this out the way 1 second. So these are the 3 columns: points earned, your sales volume or sales value, and the CV. Those definitions apply to this area. And normally you would see a total at the bottom, but when I cut the screen, I just cut the totals off. So that's how you would determine your totals for that month. Or that
Okay.
year.
Okay, I want to show you all something about this. That's why I want her to go back there.
She's not saying
So
something
we'll
else.
do it offline. Any other questions? Okay, that's all of our questions.
Okay, great, great. Well, hey, listen, ladies, you guys are in such phenomenal hands. I mean, amazing job, Dr. Belt. Your leadership is just amazing. We appreciate all that you do. All the new leaders coming right behind you, from Tamar to Tammy, you know, great job. And then, of course, you are there with the best of the best, our Dr. Pat. And now, Phyllis, I just made you a doctor too, Dr. Phyllis. So thank you, ladies. Have a phenomenal Super Saturday.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I want to show you all one thing about this because this has something to do with how much money you make.
Oh, sorry. Oh, let me mute this out. And so if you're waiting on the line, ladies and gentlemen, let's see here. I'm going to mute out 1 second, and then we're going to be back to resume. So you can hang on for those of you out of state. We're going to go through a quick social media. Then we're going to hang up the line so that we can do some private training in Dallas. And hey guys, if you're holding out online, I'm gonna let you guys, they're taking a picture real quick. I'll say hi to you guys. Okay, see, I'm online now. Hey Gigi, come and say hi to the group so they can see you. So they're taking a picture real quick. So if you're hanging out online, we can't see each other, but they can see us somewhere, I think.
Hello.
We'll be right back.
How
training.
everybody's doing?
Try to find your picture so you can see. Where is it at? Oh, maybe it's this.
It's
There we
crazy.
go. I don't know what I just did.
We finna take a group.
Okay, we're about to take a group picture. So guys, we'll be back. So just stay tuned. And we're gonna do training in about another 2 minutes. We're taking a big group picture, okay? So 1 moment.
Bye.
Okay, we're gonna mute out real quick. Okay, we're getting into training. It's time for training. Remember, the hotel kicks us out. Then we're gonna do some more pictures, right? Okay, so social media. Oh, let me turn it back on. Okay, guys. So we're gonna talk about Wi-Fi residuals. Making money when you sleep. On any planet, anywhere in the world, when you have a business that operates on the internet. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes. You want to have checks coming in every day. Like it's raining money every day. So basically, it's already set up for you. So now it's just waiting for the first funding, because right now we're still doing checks. But yeah, the first funding will happen within a couple weeks, yeah. Gotcha. Oh, I do, so I need to go back and pull you. I said I thought you was in Houston. So they got you, but we got you. I don't know why I thought you lived in Houston. Yeah. So I got you. Yeah, you got it. Got you covered, honey. Okay, good stuff. Okay, so everybody's here. Okay, let's get it going. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, so many times you start a business and what do people tell you? Make a list of your family and friends. Now, you still should make a list because it's important that we bless those by at least giving them the courtesy of knowing what's about to happen. Because here's what happens in 5 to 10 years when you blow up from the cannabis industry, your family will be the first people knocking on your door telling you, why didn't you tell them? But then if you tell them, I'm not interested. So you owe it to the people who you love and care about to at least let them know what is about to happen. So yes, you should still make your list. That's perfectly fine. Make your list. In fact, your family should be your best customer. They may not be business builders, but let me tell you something. If we know the average family will spend $700 a month on cannabis, and we know that we see our mom or our sister at CVS buying some CBD, Houston, we have a problem, right? They should not be spending that money anywhere else other than you, because you were here as a pioneer. So that's the beauty of being early. They don't have an excuse. It's not like, oh, I've been buying it from this other place for 5 years. No, they've not bought it yet. So when this goes mainstream and when it's available in the big department stores, guess what? You were here to do the groundwork. So that's going to pay off when you think about the Herbalife and the Amways. Let me tell you something. Amway, the 7 people in Amway that didn't quit, because there was like 100 and something leaders they put to the company, 93 of them quit. Those 7 people override over $7 billion in sales. Okay? So there's a reason you want to be the early adapter before it's self-evident. But here's the reality. Until then, you got to learn how to eat, right? And make some money. Because if we have to depend on all of our family and friends for income, guess what? We might be broke for many years, okay? And so we won't eat, right? And so the purpose of this is to find people who want to connect with you. Wouldn't it be nice, instead of you dragging and trying to convince people to work with you, that you get people knocking on your door saying, hey, listen, I want to do business with you. Who would like some clients like that, right? How I was able to build a business in 46 countries around the world, it wasn't begging people to join my business. It wasn't trying to convince people that didn't see what I saw. It was by literally learning steps that anyone can follow, utilizing the resources that are out there. When I was able to go meet 25-year-olds, these were 25-year-olds that I met in places like Vegas. One of them was living in a trailer. Nothing against a trailer. When I was young, I lived in the projects. My dream was to live in a trailer because I was young. I lived in the projects, so nothing against that. But when I saw a 25-year-old girl got on stage, she was a single mom. I was living in a trailer. And by the next year, she was earning over $1 million through social media. I'm like, if she can do it, I can do it, right? We have to let ourselves realize if we put negativity into the atmosphere, that's what's going to come back. Life is like the boomerang effect. In fact, Dr. Pat always says abracadabra, which means what you create is what you think. You think and you create. So if we think we're going to build $1 million business, guess what? We can create that. So now we're going to change it around, and we're going to know that we all have the capabilities of having people asking us to be our business partner instead of the other way around. So how do we do that, right? So one of the things that I normally do when I do this training, but we're going to condense it. If you've ever been on my social media, I'll take you through all the examples of people all around the country, all around the world. Melissa, I want to be a distributor. I want to be a distributor in Nigeria, Japan. I mean, when you like to open up your inbox and people constantly say, hey, I want to be a distributor. I want to be a distributor, right? So we're not going to take the social media full class and you'll get all that. But right now I want to show you the lifeline that's going to help save your business. The lifeline that's going to help you grow even when all your family and friends tell you no. And that's a 4-letter acronym, and it's called CHAT. I want you to write down CHAT. Now, earlier when we were doing the presentation, I talked about a lady who was a mentor of mine who several years ago, she got in the networking industry. It failed for her. It didn't work, right? But then all of a sudden, she developed a system, and that system created her to the point she was able to earn over, or actually had sales over $500,000 in a day. This is the system. We just had to tweak it with today's rules on Facebook, because Facebook's always evolving. Back then it was called ATM. Now we call it chat, right? Because there's new rules. So I want you to write down CHAT if you haven't already written it down. And so let's look at what chat means. The C means choose. You want to choose 10 friends a day. Now you notice I didn't say 20, I didn't say 50, I didn't say 100. Why? Because there's rules. Facebook doesn't want you spamming people. So if you stay at 10, that's a normal amount. It's not somebody trying to, like if you send emails to over 100 people, then Gmail will say, are you spamming people? If you send it to 10 people, okay, that's fine. So stick with 10. I know we have some super achievers who's, I'm gonna do 20, I'm gonna do 30, 10. That's the formula. Because see, instead of doing 100 people today and not going back, just be consistent. Over a course of 30 days, that's 300 people, okay? So choosing 10 friends a day. And what are we gonna do with these friends? Say hello, say hi. Don't send them your link. Oh, join my business. I just launched Wakana. And they're gonna be like, what the heck? You don't wanna come across salesy sending your links. I don't send my link to people. I let them ask me for my link. I let them say, please, can I see your link to sign up, right? Why? Because if you just give people stuff, all of a sudden it's kind of like everybody wants to buy something. They just don't want to be sold. But on their own, they're looking for something. They're looking to get rid of their pain. They just don't want you coming across as being salesy. And so you're saying hello to them, catching up, connecting with some of your friends. What you been up to? Be social. They call it social media so you can go socialize. If you haven't been on Facebook for 6 months, you join Wakana, now you on Facebook, sending everybody your link. Look at her. She ain't been on Facebook. And now she out here just trying to get some money from me. You know what I'm saying? She ain't commented on my child that got married. She ain't said nothing about the new baby that was born. But now she got a business, and that's the only thing that matters right now, right? See, we got to realize that we have to first be social. So before we get to starting to say hello, go like their post. Have you noticed that when you like people, they tend to like you back? Oh, she a nice person. You go like 10 of their posts, they're going to be your best friend, right? She done like 10 of my posts. She done made a comment. She put a heart on one of them, right? We can really make friends just by being nice and being social, and don't make it about us. When you make it about you, guess what? Your business won't take off because people are going to say, oh, she's just trying to sell me. We don't want that kind of culture, right? We want to create love and light and just be the person who people feel like, wow, she's a good person. Okay, and then A, right? And that's where you really want to ask that question. So you ask them a question, and then you invite them, right, into the Wakana for Life group. So what question do you ask them? What do you know about CBD? See, everybody loves to give an opinion. Instead of you telling them how great CBD is, ask them, okay? And they're going to tell you, oh, isn't that marijuana stuff? Or they're going to say something, okay? If there was a way you could get in the legal cannabis industry without any out-of-pocket expense, would you want to learn more? Who would say no to that? You would have to have no brain to say no to that, right? Because most people at the end of the day, whether they like it or love it, whether they hate it, they are still curious about this money they see being made and how they're getting left out. So this is just a way to properly pique the interest of someone to get the right result. And if they say they want to learn more, now you get happy and you say, okay, here's my link, sign up. You need to buy a $9.98 pack. No. I get people all the time on a three-way meet. And I'm like, well, what did you like best? Well, I haven't seen anything. It's like, okay, guys, this is not like trying to just quickly get to, it's like you meet somebody and instead of going on a date and becoming friends, let's just go get married tomorrow. That sounds crazy, right? Y'all trying to marry people on social media before y'all even got the first base. Okay, so you got to make sure you go through the proper steps. Don't just give them your website because now you got them excited, but then you sent them their website and you messed it up. Okay, so if they say they want to learn more, you're going to add them to a group called Wakana for Life. So write that down. Wakana space for FOR life. You add them to that group. It works. I had a lady the other day. She got on the group. And it's funny, I did a three-way for the lady that invited her into the business. And she's like, and she's a doctor out of Ohio. She says, oh my goodness. She's like, I'm just in this group. My cousin, my friend put me in the group and everybody's getting these certifications. She's like, everybody's like happy. They just joined in Wakana. She's like, this must be the hottest business on the planet. So, her friend didn't have to convince her. Her friend didn't have to say, hey, she saw all the momentum. There's over 4,000 people now on Wakana for Life. Started with one person, now it's 4,000. There's gonna be 40,000, 400,000, right? That's exciting. So let the group do the selling for you because the group is gonna get people excited on the level which people can connect to. We are emotionally making decisions on how we feel. And if we see that there's success in the group, if we see people get certified, they got these certificates. I can't tell you how many people have signed up because they saw their cousin get a certificate that says they got some kind of recognition in the cannabis space. And they did not want to get left behind. See, let the group do what it does. And you're going to find your business is not going to be like pulling, right? It's going to flow so much freer. And then you want to also make sure you tag. And what is tagging them? We have a video called the announcement video. And on the announcement video, it's a video that basically has a 5-minute overview. If you click on the word announcement anywhere in the group, you'll see it. But the video is going to allow the story to sell for you. See, here's what you want to create. The average person, when you're trying to recruit them into the business, they're asking themselves, can I do what she just did? And see, if you simply reached out and connected to them on Facebook, you asked a question and put them in a group, let them watch a 5-minute video. You haven't explained anything. You haven't tried to tell them about the endocannabinoid system. You haven't tried to tell them a million facts. They're gonna be like, dang, that's all she did and I'm excited. They're gonna wanna do the business. So we have to start doing what's duplicatable and follow the system. So now, when we look at chat, there's different ways you can approach people depending on who you're trying to talk to. When I actually targeted Dr. Rita, me and Dr. Rita, like I had never really formally met Dr. Rita. When we were in our travel business, she was somewhere in our group and she said she saw me at an event we did. But we never ever had exchanged hellos or anything. But I admired her on social media. She admired me. And whenever we got into the cannabis space, I was like, we need a doctor, right? Don't y'all think y'all need a doctor on y'all's team, right? I'm like, we need a doctor. Somebody's got to learn about this endocannabinoid system, right? And I knew that, you know, she's a very smart woman. That's the one thing I knew, right? She's brilliant. And so I sent her an inbox. And my inbox was a little bit different because I was the CEO of the company. And I just said, hello. I've always thought about ways we can work together, which was the truth. I'm looking at her like she is a boss. I want to work with her. And I said, recently, I became the CEO of a CBD company that's not MLM. And the reason why I specified not MLM, because she was actually doing another networking company and I was in a networking company and I didn't want her to have the perception I'm trying to remove her out of her company. No. Wakana is a breath of fresh air. It is not like a typical company where you get involved, you get started, you spend money, and you don't make a dime, you don't hear from anybody, right? This is a movement, it's a family, it's a nation, right? And so with our company, guess what? It's a different response that we're getting from people, okay? But at the end of the day, I didn't want to turn her off because she would think, is it network marketing? No, it's something different, right? Where most of our people are able to make money without building big teams, unlike network marketing. And so what you also want to do is I did a clarification statement just because people like to hear their name. And when you say there are other doctors working with us, then it's like, oh, I may need to pay attention. One of the biggest motivators, the fear of loss. I don't want to be the last doctor to know. If other doctors are doing it, well, I better know what she's talking about, right? So I just said other doctors, chiropractors, or nutritionists. Now, depending on who you're talking to, you might say a different group of people, but I knew that would be something that resonated with her because she's also a wellness coach, right? And I also asked her, because she's a medical doctor, what are her thoughts on CBD? And that's where she said she got stumped because she said she thought Melissa meant CBC, complete blood count. Because she didn't know what CBD was. She thought I was trying to sell her a laugh, right? So she went on the internet, she did all her own research. I wasn't trying to say, girl, you know about EKS system and, you know, I would have been messing it up, right? They're like, EKS, ECS, right? So I just left it to the system to work. She did her own research. And when she came back, we did lunch and the rest is history. Now her business alone brings over $100,000 a month to Wakana. Wouldn't you like to find somebody just like that by following the system the right way? Well, this is how we do it. Oh, take a picture of that, absolutely. Now back then, I told her, this is the non-psychoactive version of the health without the high, only because I wanted to make, because I clarified that, later came back to her, because back then people were thinking CBD was marijuana. And I didn't want her to research and say, oh, girl, you selling marijuana? I was selling drugs, right? So I clarified that, but you don't have to do that now because everybody pretty much knows, besides our family and friends, that CBD is not a drug, okay? You know, would like to sit and talk with you. And here's the thing, folks, you have to have a sense of urgency. You can say, I would like to sit and talk with you, but if you wait 3 months, it's like if she says yes, okay, what you doing tomorrow? We was together the next day. And before you knew it, she's in the business. And look at Dr. Rita, she's a boss, right? And so guess what? We got to do the same thing. So here's the other thing to know about social media, guys, just real quick. As we talk about finding people to add to the group, there's different ways you can find people. You can go to your friends list and you can look at your friends list and you can start looking at their profile to say, okay, who's talking about great things? I mean, if you see somebody whining and complaining and cursing every day, is that the person you want to add to the group? No, right? You want to add those positive people, those people that are inspiring, those social media strategists, right? So you want to find good quality people on social media. But also too, like if you're traveling or if you know there's an event in Houston, you can just type into your little search bar on Facebook, people who live in Texas, people who live in Houston, and you can actually see people who are either friends with you or friends with one of your friends that live in some of the cities you want to expand in. And that's how you can expand into every state. Because you might think, I don't know anybody. But then you pull that in Facebook, you're like, wait a minute, I didn't know she lived in Houston, or I didn't know. And even if you don't know that person, if you're friends with one of their friends, guess what? You kind of know each each other because y'all's friends know each other. And so that makes that person feel more comfortable with you. So just know that Facebook allows you to go find people who went to your high school. You can find people who went to your college. You can go look for chiropractors. It has given you such an arsenal of ways to find people, but guess what? You have to get the training. So in our Wakana University, we take the time and go through hours and hours of training. Today, you're just getting kind of like the cliff notes,
Right.
so that you can really decide to take it a step further. And then for those of you who've already taken the class, and now you're like, Melissa, I've taken the class. I need some help. You need to help me. That's why y'all have me here today. Because Gigi knows.
Yeah.
I decided to stay some extra days.
Yeah.
See, I was like, Gigi, I got to be in and out. Girl, no. You know we need you till Monday. I was like, oh, Lord. I was like, let me just clear my calendar for Texas, okay? So y'all got me here, okay? And so again, you can go put in Wakana for Life. You can find the group. You're going to see this video right there. Who's watched the 5-minute video? Who's not watched it yet? See, if you haven't watched it, you didn't know, that's okay. That's okay, but that's great though. Because when you see the video, like you said, I'm not a salesperson. Let the video sell it for you. When people watch that video, they're gonna be like, wow, this is awesome. So imagine selling and getting people excited without you having to learn the skills of selling. You learn the skills of CHAT. Learn these skills, and that's gonna take you to the next level, right? All right. Oh, let me turn back. I saw somebody else taking pictures. So that's the page right there. Right? 4,000 people on this group already, guys, and we're just starting. Is that crazy? Oh my gosh.
I remember back in April, like
Yeah.
200.
Yeah, it was like 200 people, right? That's what I'm saying. People don't understand. This thing is going to blow up with or without you. You want it to be with you so that you can be a part of that storyline, right? And so here's the group link. So if you ever are on Facebook, you're like, I just can't find it. You can put in this whole website with the /groups/Wakana. It'll take you directly to the website. Now, when you search for it, it's Wakana for Life. But when you put the link in, just like if you put in Google, you just go to the web, put that link in, it'll take you right to the group. So a lot of times on Facebook, when you're trying to talk with people about the group, you're adding them, but they've not accepted, you can just inbox them that link. And just let them know, this is that group I added you to, because some people, you just got to point it out to them. Some people figure it out, but not everyone, right? But you can clearly see we went from 200 to 4,000, so it's working, right? All right, let me turn back. So I see some more taking pictures. So that's the link right there. Write that link down so that you can share that with everybody you know. And here's the cool thing. Even if you aren't on Facebook all the time to manage who's trying to join the business, like the lady from Ohio who's the doctor, she just wrote a message on Facebook in the group. Hey, like, how do I sign up? So of course everybody's like, hey, you know, but then our police, you know, that's, you know, they're like, hey, nope, they go with the person who invited them. Huh? Well, she can be too sometimes, but like, but whoever is there to, you know, make sure it's ethically given to the right person. That person goes and looks at who was the member that invited them, and that's who gets the credit.
Right.
That's who gets the credit. Well, yeah, so basically when a person makes a comment, we have admin, and the admins are looking to see who are these people connected to. So we go click on members, and if you click on members, it shows you Gigi added this person. You put that person's name in, it shows us Gurna added this person. So it connects them back to you because you added them. That's why you want to go add everybody you know, because guess what if somebody else asked them? You try to claim them, but like you didn't add them. That you added them. Yes, it will. Yeah. Yeah, and we make sure we monitor that, guys.
When I see your chat.
Yes.
I go to
Get on there.
Yes.
And realize that there should be somebody on there.
Yes.
And they, now they ready to go, but you added them, so you get credit.
Yep, you get the credit. Absolutely. Whoever added them, that's why you want to go and at least add the core people who you've been thinking about. Go ahead and stake your claim. Because before you know it, somebody else is going to add
How
it.
do you know that you added from your Facebook? Is your Facebook connected some way to the website?
Okay, no. So basically on the group, we're going to go on the group live. Because we're on the screen share, we'll do it later. But if we go to the group on Facebook, basically you're adding them to the Facebook group. So for them to sign up, that's another process. Your website's not connected. The only thing we know is Carla Andrews referred them. So then usually at that point, what we do is inbox you. Say, Carla, Shirley Thomas is interested in the business. So at that point, you send her your Wakana website.
And if you're
So
on
we
my
let
team-
you-
If you're on my team, I see it. I'm inboxing you and calling
Yeah,
you.
Gigi's gonna say, hey, you know, are you paying attention to Facebook? Yes, 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 yes.
I be looking out for my team.
Yes, yes, yes. Website from here? Yes, and so in the group, what's also great is the video is embedded, which means, and I'll show you guys when we're done with this part, but you can actually, in the group, when you go to the group, there's a video that just stays there. It's embedded into the link, so when you go to, you can immediately watch it. So to get your friends that you invite to watch it, you're gonna tag their name in the comments. So we're gonna show you how to tag them in the comments. See, everybody, yes. There we go. See, that's why it's important to have extra training. Yes. Yes.
They have to be in the group already.
Yeah, they have to be in the group now for you to tag them. So they have to be in the group. So that's very important, right? Yes. And so we're gonna show you what that looks like. So you'll be able to really have a chance to master that, guys, because it's important that we learn everything right.
Is there a way for you to know if they watch the video?
Well, here's the thing. So because it's one of those things where it's not like it's going to track that person to say they watched it, but how you typically know is they'll end up making a comment sometimes like, hey, I watched the video, I'm excited, but just follow up. Just follow up to see if they've watched it.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I know somebody else has sent me something else trying to get in, and they called me back and say, well, how come you haven't watched the video yet?
Gotcha.
Well, that was an app. Was that an app?
No, it
Oh,
was
it's
a
on
video.
Facebook?
No, it was a video with some other company.
Oh, no. So here's what that is.
They
That's,
could tell
yes.
that I-
that's called a replicated site where you actually have your own digital print. That's coming where we basically, there's a lot of ways you can build your business. This is actually one of the most duplicatable ways because not everybody wants to pay $20 a month for a replicated site. So we'll have that for people that want advanced levels, but for now, this is free.
Okay.
This don't cost anybody a
I
dime,
just didn't
and
know.
you can duplicate it with every person on your team. See, everybody can afford free. But then that next level is where we go to for those who say, listen, I want to now be able to track those numbers and spend that little extra money per month to get those extra results. Yeah. Mhm.
In sharing this website the way it is here, how does it then track back to you?
Yeah, so basically, as long as you sent the invite, remember you sent them an invite.
Okay.
So you
Oh,
send the
yes,
invite
yes,
first.
yes,
You
yes,
have to
yes.
send the invite first,
Okay.
then you send this next. Because once you send the invite, the imprint's already there.
Right.
It's just waiting on them to accept.
Gotcha.
So invite them, and if they don't accept right away, just send the link.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's bulletproof. Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna go to, so here's how you invite the members, guys. So I'm gonna show you some pictures so you'll know how to invite the members. So right there where it says invite members, you can go there and you can just add whoever you want to the group. Now, because of the privacy laws, Facebook, you notice they was in some trouble for not allowing, invading privacy pretty much. So they changed up some of the rules. One of the rules is you can't just add people to a group. In the past, I don't know if you guys have ever been slammed into 1,000 groups and you're like in 100 groups, like, how did I get in these groups? Everybody can just put you in a group. Now you have to say, I want to be a part of that group, which is so much better. So that's what's exciting is the 4,000 people in our group want to be there.
Right.
It's not like we just slammed them in the group. These are people that legitimately are wanting to be there for more information, right? And so you invite them right there where it says invite members. Now, if you're on your phone, it might look a little bit different. You might see a whole bunch of pictures of people, and then you see this little plus sign. It might say add. So just know, again, you're not going to break it. Just play around, push around. And if you have any real questions, let's get those answered today so that no one has questions beyond the next set of questions when the next training comes, right? Okay, so that's what the video looks like. It says Wakana, the crown jewel of cannabis, an introduction into the CBD and cannabis industry. So that's the video right there.
Yeah.
And you see where it says announcements. And it says our 5-minute Wakana video made its debut at the 420 conference. Now there's more of a welcome message there now. So this is an old post. But you can see there, look at that. That's when we had 895 members. So we have grown along.
Yeah.
And that was just right. Yeah. Is that amazing, right? How time is just exciting, okay? So if you notice also where it says about, discussion, announcement, members, see members. Members is how you can click and search to see, hey, did my friends accept yet? So you can see members.
Right.
You can see what events are happening in the group. You can see the videos. Sometimes you'll see videos from Dr. Rita. I mean, there have a lot of good videos from Dr. Rita. If you have doctors that you're trying to prospect, you want to start tagging them on some of Dr. Rita's videos because they're going to relate from doctor to doctor. In fact, every Wednesday, Dr. Rita does a call. That's a CBD 101, and that is like next level, right?
That was the one I was talking about, that
She
video.
took each subject.
Each subject. And now look at you.
Yes.
Is that powerful? So we want to make sure we're plugging into all the calls, okay? Then we have files. Files is where you can go look at the PowerPoint, so even the presentation today we're sharing from the presentation is on there under files, okay? Group insights. So cool. Now the group insights might just be for me, sorry. Let's see here. Okay. So here's just another little note. When you're looking at that video and you're trying to tag somebody, because you're like, Melissa, what does it mean to tag somebody on a video? Has anybody ever went to a comment and made a comment on Facebook? If you just write their name, sometimes the picture profile shows up.
Right.
If you put the @ symbol in the event, it doesn't show up. That just helps to make sure the name shows up.
Right.
So you're just putting that person's name, you select their picture, hit enter. Now look at the person right there. It says Real Du Bois. It says Carm Smith. You see how that's grayed out? And it has like a
It's not
stop
in.
sign.
Yeah.
That means she tagged someone that isn't in the group.
Right.
Right there.
Yeah.
See the difference? Let me show you guys. I'm pointing out.
It's
This
grayed
one here is grayed out,
Grayed out.
and this is blue.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yes. Right.
So the blue is right. So that means this person's in the group. She's gonna see the video. This person's not gonna see it. So just know if you start trying to tag people and you say, oh, she's not in it yet. Now you inbox her. Say, hey, I invited you. Here's that link. Go ahead and accept so we can go ahead and show you that video. So it's just a follow-up process, okay? In fact, as you're looking at this, what you also want to do is make sure you're making a note of the people that you're adding so that you don't go add 10 people like, who did I just add? Right? You'll be like, well, who did I just add? I mean, no one, even if you're Einstein, you're not going to remember all 10 people. It's just you're not. So just write their names down. Keep a book. That's how you start to make your list. If you're adding 10 people a day, before 30 days, you have 300 people now that you're prospecting, okay? So just make sure we're writing the names down of every person we are prospecting. Okay, so files, we talked about that. See what kind of compensation plan, official presentation, a product webinar. So there's so many links that you can find. If you want business cards, go to files and you can download the order form to send it into our marketing team. They'll customize the design. Well, it's the what kind of design, send it to you, and you can get them printed anywhere, but we do the design for you. Okay, so branding you. So now that we've gotten through chat, and I'm sure you got a million questions, that's okay. We're gonna do independent help for people. I'll be here till Monday, till my flight leaves, right? And so I'm sure some of y'all will know how to hunt me down somewhere, right? And so branding you. So what is your vision and mission and your goal for your brand? See, there's a saying that you can't try to sell a dream, but yet you are looking like a nightmare. We got to clean up. We got to clean it up, okay? We got to look, right, like we're selling $1 billion business, okay? And so branding is so critical. So if you find yourself going through chat, you're completing those 4 steps, you're not having the success, sometimes you have to be a little reflective. You have to ask yourself, how is my social media looking? And maybe get somebody else's opinion. Because sometimes we don't even know we're our own problem. Because we just don't know. Sometimes we just do stuff out of habit. They say most of the decisions we make and the actions are not even consciously made. They're subconsciously done. So sometimes we have to have a reassessment of our brand and just change it around, because you'll be surprised and amazed at what you can do when you get your branding together. And it doesn't cost you. Every method I show you today is free. No cost to get your branding done. All right. So Canva, if you're a millennial, this is great for you. If you're not a millennial, wait for my next one, right? Go ahead, girl. Yeah, Canva is great for millennials, right? Why? Because it's an app that you can use on your phone, and they can usually figure it out pretty fast. You can also go to the website, but Canva is a little bit tricky for those who might not be that computer savvy, but it's good to know it, because you always want to try both if you feel that you need more options for marketing. So canva.com. Now, here's the cool thing about these kind of tools. Without any graphic designing experience, you will start to feel like a graphic artist. You will start to feel like, oh, I'm bad to the bone. I can create flyers, and it gives you freedom. See, when you know that you can control your marketing budget, because you can do some of the stuff, you don't have to hire teams, you know, that's liberating, because you know that your success is truly in your own hands, right? So now that we talked about Canva, it's a great tool. You can do flyers, letterheads, postcards, and it's really not that challenging at all. So give it a try if you feel adventuresome today and you want to go to that next level, okay? So you can do a 30-day free trial and then quit. Just do it for 30 days. Get everything you need and then be done with it,
You don't
okay?
need more though.
But then you can go to the other one for free. So I'll show you the one you can get for free, yeah.
You are good.
Yeah, so that's great. And see, with Canva, they got it all together. You can get a branding kit. See, companies pay big money for branding kits. You can pick your own colors that represent you. See, in Illinois, we encourage creativity to a point. We want duplication, but we also want your signature to show in your brand so that people recognize it's not just we're all the same, right? Everybody has differences, and our differences make us better, right? And so let's look at Canva. So we're going to look at Spark Adobe. So Spark.adobe. So this is what we call baby boomer user friendly. Baby boomer user friendly. It's called, okay, it's cut off some, but Spark. Oh, it's cut off on y'all. So let me take it down some. Bring it down a little bit.
Adobe.
See it right there?
Yeah.
You see it right there?
Right there. It says Spark.
Oh, there we go. There we go. You see it?
It says Spark
Yeah,
Adobe.
Spark.adobe. Yeah, Spark.adobe. So Spark.adobe.
Is that .com?
.com. Yes, Spark.adobe.com. And so here's the real big secret to making Spark.adobe work easy is when you see that plus sign, that's where we get confused because, again, our brain doesn't work like a 7-year-old. They just click everything. We'd be like, it doesn't tell me what I need to do. So what do I need to do? So click the plus sign, and it's going to open up the world. So click that plus sign. That's the first step, right? So you click the plus sign. It's going to give you options to create cover. So write down cover, C-O-V-E-R. We also sometimes call it banner, but it's the same thing. You know, it's that big rectangle picture behind your profile shot. Now we all know, right? That big, huge picture. And it's like, what do we put back there? Sometimes we just put anything, right? And it's cool. But if you're trying to build $1 million business, you better be strategic and make sure it's something that if someone connected with you that didn't know you would be willing to learn who you are and know more about your business. You want them wanting to do business with you, right? And so on Spark.adobe, you go look for the cover and you're going to first click on resize. So write down the word resize. This is kind of cut off a little bit. So you see where that arrow's pointing down right there?
Yes.
So click on resize. Because here's what you're going to learn today, and that this is going to be half the battle with social media. The reason why you have so many people who charge so much money to teach you social media, because every single social media company has different requirements. They have different pixels, different sizes. So it's a plethora of information that you need to know. But when you have something like Spark.adobe, they've done the work for you. What does that mean? That means you don't have to think about anything about except uploading pictures because they're going to think about the right size. See, what people don't realize when you post a picture on Facebook, depending on the dimensions of that picture, sometimes people don't see it. It's all cut off. So that means your pictures aren't being featured. But if it's the perfect size that it's supposed to be every time you post something, that means you're going to get more engagement because people are lazy. They don't want to click on it. They want to just see what it is. Some people will click on it because they're curious. Your covers back behind your profile shot, a lot of times people don't realize why they look so distorted because you don't know that Facebook has a very specific requirement. They want a certain length and a certain height. And guess what? Twitter has a different requirement. Instagram has a different requirement. LinkedIn has a different. So do you want to remember all these requirements? No. All you do is go to Spark.adobe. When you click on resize, then you're going to think about what's the purpose of what I'm creating. Is this because I'm going to create an event for Facebook? It's a different size for a Facebook event. If it's a business page, guess what? It's a different size. If it's a Twitter header, it's a different size. So instead of you learning what a pixel is and how do I shape and cut it and do all that stuff, you just go click on resize and find the specific cover that you're looking for. And so for the purpose of Facebook, we typically work within your personal page. We don't take you to a business page during part 1. When you get more advanced and you want to go to the advanced training, then you get a business page. And your business page could be branding you as a public figure. Why? Because guess what? We can show you how to go out and get 10,000 followers, 100,000 followers. Wouldn't that be cool? None of your family and friends wanted to follow you, but now you got 100,000 followers. You could be Instagram famous right here in Dallas, Texas, right? And so you click on profile cover. And when you click on profile cover, that's going to allow you to design a cover for your Facebook that's going to give you a brand that's going to be acceptable for your family, because they're going to feel, wow, she's so thinking about me. It's going to be acceptable for your friends, and it's going to be great for the business prospects that you're trying to get who don't know you. See, it has to satisfy all those different types of people. So we're going to show you how to do that. So click layout. That's another thing to write down. Layout will allow you to choose how many images, what are the different areas in this cover do I want to develop? Maybe you just want one big image. Maybe you want 4 different pictures in there. It's going to let you pick and choose. If you look right there and you see those different shapes, right? That just means a picture. So you can break it out with 3 different images. That one there is 1 image. So you can figure out exactly what you want to do. And sometimes you don't really know. So you just play around, right? Until you figure it out, right? Because you're going to be a CBD billionaire, right? So you got to figure it out, okay? Here's another clue I'm going to give you. A lot of times these new websites talk in terms of pictures. See, when you think about it, kids now talk emoji. They don't say I love you, they just send you a heart.
Right.
They don't say they're happy, they just send a smiley face. They don't say good job, they send you a thumbs up. See, the world's talking in terms of pictures and emojis. It's a different world. So we have to realize a lot of the websites are catering to that. So instead of saying insert a picture, it just puts a picture of a picture. Instead of saying delete, it puts a trash can. So we got to realize most of the stuff is right in front of us. We got to just push or click around, okay? And so when we go click around, it allows us to add. We can add our pictures. So this is some basic training I'm going to give right now, because some of you are probably thinking, well, Melissa, where in the heck am I getting pictures from to go on this cover? Where does this come from? Is it like abracadabra? They just appear? Well, one, on Spark.Adobe, they're going to give you stock images. So if you want something very specific in your pictures, you can go find a stock image. But guess what? You really want you to show up and your family and things you care about, right? So what you want to do is, most of us have pictures on our phone. So you can email those pictures from your phone to your email. And then you download them to your desktop. And then you insert them back up, right?
Right.
Remember, you started kindergarten and you eventually graduated, so don't be looking at me. They're looking at me like, oh, Lord, she just took me to my PhD, right? We start level by level by level. And remember, once the brain is stretched by a new idea, it's not going to go back. And I can tell you right now, I have some people who I am so proud of in this room, who I cannot believe the leaps and bounds you've grown just in the last few months. So can you imagine in the next few years? So don't let this intimidate you. You got this. If you keep telling yourself, I can't do this, abracadabra, you're right.
Right.
If you say, I can do this, abracadabra, you create your reality. So let's go ahead and change that mindset, right? So now we recognize this is pretty basic. We can click on upload photo by clicking on the picture. We can delete stuff when we mess up, so it's not going to be the end of the world. We can delete all our mistakes. This is pretty cool. If we need questions, that I means information. Just click on I. It's going to give you more details, okay? So here's what you create. This is some stuff I created, and here's how I did this banner. I used to do a lot of individual help and work with social media, but I don't have the time. The people would want to pay me money to come and help them, and I do that back in the day. Now I don't have time, right? So I said, let me find something that will allow me to create something fast enough where I knew I can duplicate this. And so when I went to Spark.Adobe, it was right before a certification, and I was able to create this in 10 minutes. And because I created it in 10 minutes, I said, guess what? There's hope for everybody, right? Because that means even if it takes you an hour,
Right.
you will figure this out. I've had one lady, Darlene, I don't know if she's on the line. She's 70 plus, and we were at Potbelly's doing a little workshop. And as I was teaching the other ladies, she was waiting on her turn. You know, by the time we got done, she had did hers. Why? Because she just kept pushing the buttons, and eventually you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna figure it out. She did it on the computer. So always use your computer when you're first starting, because the phone will simplify stuff so little that your mind will hurt. You gotta do the big picture. Get the biggest computer you can find, okay? And so you insert your images. What do you say? Put my name there, put some titles. So now what that means is if you come looking at my picture and my profile, you're gonna say, okay, she's a coach, she's a CEO, an entrepreneur, but then my family, and they realize, but we're all connected. So it's still social. So you're giving them the best of both worlds. You're showing business, but you're also showing the personal part of who you are. And so here's another just way to do it. You can do it all kinds of ways. You can pick whatever picture, because remember it said when you can do your layout. See, that's layout. See, this layout was 1, 2, 3, 4 pictures, right? And then if you go to this next one, it's like 5 pictures and there's something in the middle. So it just depends on your vision. What do you want to put there? If you want to pick tall pictures, you need some narrow images. If you want something really wide, you need some wider images. So eventually this all starts to just make sense, right?
So you added the heart head thing?
I added what now?
The heart head thing?
Oh, see, that was from a picture I inserted. So that was already there, probably from Snapchat. So, yeah, you know, kids are on Snapchat. So, yeah, so she probably did that herself, because she probably knows more about this than me, right? So, yeah, I didn't add the hearts, but that was just on the picture she had, right? Yes. And so you just pick the pictures you want. Here's another example. So when we had our anniversary, I did this one as a, you know, for me and my husband. But you could put different titles: wife, mother, grandma, author, speaker, you know, whatever your titles are, it's going to be true to you. This was just because I was like, okay, I'm doing really good. I was feeling like a graphic artist. I was like, I'm gonna put some more pictures, right? You start getting excited. Before you know, you creating birthday invitations and Christmas cards. You're like, I didn't know I had this in me, but you all have it in you. It's there. Okay. Here's just another example to show you different colors. Like this one is more pink on this peach, but it's pink. And then I put a picture with a group, so you're showing authority. That's me in a microphone. So they see, oh, she's a speaker, she's a leader. So you can pick and choose what you want based on what works for you and what you want to showcase in your specific cover. Here's another different color, blue. There's a pink, right? So you can just pick what you like, right? There's another blue. Baby Elijah, welcome to the world, when he was born. Okay, so let's kind of show some before and afters. So this is actually when I was doing the banners and doing it where it was a little harder because we didn't have the app tool. So we had to show people how to pretty much create it from scratch. So the good news, none of you have to create it from scratch. So you might like some of these from scratch, but remember, these are from scratch. The way I showed you the first time, simple, easy, right? So this was a lady that came to me, and I said, okay, she's a wellness coach. Now, you wouldn't know she's a wellness coach by looking at her banner. Now, the little intro she put there, we had already put that before we took her before picture. So it didn't have an intro either. It had nothing there. One thing I will tell you is in your intro, use emojis. Why? Because they say 70% of people speak emoji. That means if you're not giving hearts and love, they're going to think you're mean, especially millennials. So use some emojis. That shows you're cool and hip, right? So there we put she's a mother, grandmother, minister, counselor, consultant, and coach. And then we put some cool emojis that represent things that she loves. So let's look at the after picture. So the after picture, we put some bright green. She says she likes the color green. So let's get you in nature. If you're a health and wellness coach, you got to show something, physical activity. I'm picking apples, I'm doing something, right? And then we had her family there. So now it's more connecting to her as a person who's out there trying to connect on social media. This is another good one where this lady, this is her after picture. And her biggest challenge was a lot of people, would say, you come across so business, but where's the family side? So I said, okay, in your brand, we're going to show your business, but we're going to show your family. We're going to connect it all. So a lot of times what I would do is I would arrange for people to be in front of the room speaking. So we put together an event. I said, you're going to be in front of the room speaking. And guess what I did? I took a picture of her in front of the room because that gives you authority. If you're standing in front of 500 people, don't you think your family will see you differently? Right, yeah. So the next time we have an event, maybe we need to get you a mic and put you in front of the room. So they'll be like, wait a minute, what does she got to say that everybody wants to listen, right? And then we actually arranged for her to meet John Maxwell. So we had a picture of her and John Maxwell. And now it says, mom of 2, healthy lifestyle coach, Miss Elegance of Lithuania, global entrepreneur, world traveler, fluent in 5 languages. So now somebody showed up on her page instead of just a picture of a beach is what she had at first. They're able to connect with her as a powerful businesswoman. And since then, her business is flying up through the roof. Her team has run trips to Punta Cana. They've run trips to Dubai. They've run trips to Rome, Italy. It's exciting what you can do when you really take your business seriously and recognize the power of really rebranding yourself and recreating your reality, right? Now, this guy is a very successful entrepreneur, but guess what? It's all about money. So that means you're going to turn off people that are not about money. Right? So even though he was the #1 recruiter in his company, he wasn't recruiting hardly anybody on social media unless they were somebody that was money hungry, right? And so he said, hey, listen, we're going to rebrand you. And so what do we do differently, right? We said, let's put you with a microphone. Show that you're also a leader. Put you in front of an audience. Look at him in front of that audience right there. A picture of him traveling, a picture with his family. He's an entrepreneur, a lifestyle coach, husband, father, world traveler. And guess what? You can still have your dollar bills, but they're in your name now. We put the $sign for Syed, right? And so you can have that same effect, right? By just doing something in a way that really resonates with so many more people, but you can have the effect online versus just offline. Now, this is a guy who's so nice. His last name is Smiley. You think he would be smiling and happy, but I'm looking at him like, you know, and you have to ask yourself, if you see some of these profile pictures, if somebody's trying to reach out to you on Facebook about their business, what you gonna say? You're gonna reach out to him? No, because you're gonna prejudge him. He could be the greatest person in the world. He could be ready to help you make $1 million, but your mind will immediately say, oh, he doesn't look the part. And that's what people are doing to you. Even though you're adding them to Facebook, they're like, she don't know what she's doing yet. They're judging you. So guess what you have to do? You have to take your brand, rebrand it, so they come back and like, wow. In fact, we've helped some people do it, and immediately their church members, oh girl, what are you doing? What you up to? She had been trying to get their attention all this time, but putting one new cover up, all of a sudden they were like, wow, what has happened, right? And so this is his after picture. We had him put a suit on. We had him smiling. I said, your last name is Smiley. You need to smile big, okay? And now let's represent who you really are. A father, a consultant, an entrepreneur. So you might be more likely to say, okay, well, what does he got to say? Now, this guy is the sweetest guy. Gigi, you know this guy, right? Oh, yeah. But if you had him trying to prospect you on Facebook, you'd be like, he is taking a selfie, which is a no-no on a profile shot at a casino. He's at a casino, right? Now, if he's trying to teach you how to, I mean, are you going to be like, hey, yeah, let's go talk. Let's make some money. No, right? And so guess what we did? We didn't even do anything to his cover because he at the time wasn't ready because we only had an hour session. So we did that later. But just by changing it, oh, look at that. Look at the difference. Just profile shot. That's it. Yeah. A profile shot with a suit on. That's an up-to-date suit, right? Right. Some lighting, right? And look at that. Look at the emojis. So millennials are like, oh, he's cool, right? And all of a sudden, you have a different way of seeing the same person, right? Cora may be on the line right now. In fact, I'm going to mute somebody out. Somebody's making some noise. There we go. 1 second, let me mute out. There we go. And so Cora is somebody who's in our business, does a great job in our business, but you would think she's selling travel. Yeah. And if you're not trying to sell people resorts and timeshare, you better be on the beach. Because if you're on the beach, you're selling lifestyle. But if you're not on the beach, guess what? You're selling travel. And so guess what? We had to change her up, right? And Cora is a jade on her way to sapphire. She's a boss, okay? Doing it big, okay? Right?
I keep giving her, I'm like,
that's who she is. Oh yeah, she's fabulous. Yeah. And see her cool emoji, so she's relating to the millennials and everybody else. And so the final thing I'll say, but we're not going to do training on this, but I want to let you guys know the bigger possibilities beyond just now your typical friends list on Facebook and finding new friends. So one of the things that big corporations do is they play with the algorithms on Facebook to see where the numbers coming, where the, that's what the money's about. Where do we spend our money? They run ads, okay? That's what we call next level. Some of you will get there. You want to first master the basics. Don't start today. I want to run me some ads. No, because if you're running ads and now you're spending money, and if all the other stuff ain't tight, you're throwing the money down the drain. We got to first tighten up everything else. And then when you take our advanced social media training, we'll teach you even on a higher level on how you can actually go find people in any city you want that are already interested in cannabis and have a business mind. How would you like to just ignore and not even worry about the people with no business mind and no money and go straight to all the business-minded people with money and cannabis, right? Everybody wants to get those people, right? You can target those type of people on Facebook. That's what billion-dollar companies do. They go and target a specific audience. If they're trying to sell toothpaste and a very specific toothpaste, they're looking for what was the previous buying habits of that consumer before they spend any money trying to target them. And a lot of times we're trying to target people that don't have a business mind, but we can't figure it out because they don't come across as no business mind, right? But if you go on Facebook, you can put who is interested in Success from Home magazine, who's interested in Jim Rohn, who's interested in other network marketing companies. And now you at least know I have somebody that has some kind of interest in a business. Now the next question is, are they interested in cannabis? And there's another way you can target that audience as well. And so just know Today, we're not going to go through it, but I'm going to kind of show you some of the results. In our social media, we at least show you the basics of how to create the ad. We teach how to set up your marketing objective to figure out what is your objective? What are you trying to do with this ad? Are you trying to get people to drive them to your website? Are you trying to drive them to a lead capture page? Are you trying to get them to engage in a post? Are you trying to get them to watch a video? Are you trying to get them to just like your page? What is your goal? And so we teach you how to do that. So you pick, what is my goal? Traffic, video views. You get to figure all that out. Have you ever been sitting on your Facebook and you saw a sponsored ad? Sometimes it's from a celebrity, sometimes a big business. And then you're like, how do they know I like black dresses with silver on them? How do I know I like high heels? How do they know this? Facebook knows more about you than you might know about yourself, right? Why is it? Because they study everything you do. When you press buttons on Facebook, when you look around and browse, all that information is collected. And now all of a sudden, those people who are looking to find someone who might be likely to buy a black dress, that's exactly 3/4 inch, right? They know who to look for. And so you keep wondering, why do I keep buying these clothes from China? And I know half of them don't even come out right. And the seams aren't there for some of them. And they're not going to fit right. But they just keep targeting you over and over and over because they know your buying habits. And you can do the exact same thing. Now, the difference with cannabis is right now, Facebook doesn't allow you to spend any money on cannabis advertising. So there's other ways you have to do it. And we teach you that on social media where you can find other ways to do it. And so we teach you how to go through the ad, how to create the ad, how to find your audience, because a lot of times when you start advertising on social media, you're like, oh my God, Melissa told me that we were going to find all the people we need. It tells me that I have a potential reach of 210 million people. You're going to get so excited, like, oh Lord, I'm going to be rich because I done found 210 million people, but you don't know which of these people have a business mind. Which of them are interested? So you will waste your money spending on all the people that are not interested because you don't know how to target them properly with demographics. So what we teach you is how to develop the demographics that you need to get the right result, how to narrow your audience down. I would rather have 500,000 people that are interested in exactly what I'm trying to sell than 200 million people, and I'm spending all the money for those 200 million. So you're just wasting and throwing money right down the drain. And so we teach you how to target by location. You can pick people for Mesquite. You can pick people for Dallas. You can pick people for Houston. You can target people anywhere. Even if you have a small town of 350 people, you can target that town and figure out who you want to get. You can target men or women. You can pick languages. You can get specifics and target different people in different companies. You can target Avon Cosmetics. You can target Mary Kay. You can target Herbalife. It allows you to target whoever it is specifically that you're looking for so that you can narrow it down and find the right audience for your specific campaign. So when we first launched in the cannabis space, the first thing I wanted to do was figure out, how do I find people in Illinois that are interested in cannabis? So when I launched my campaign, I couldn't launch it to try to sell products about cannabis because they don't allow you, but they don't prevent you from finding people that like cannabis. So even if you find people that like cannabis and now you're selling something else, at least you know, hey, I know they like cannabis too. So we're gonna talk about cannabis later, right? And so I targeted people that lived in Chicago within a 25-mile range. I picked the age group that I was looking for, whether it was men or women. And then I went and I did something that I said, let me just experiment. Let me put the word cannabis sativa. And let me see who I can find within a 25-mile radius from me that is interested in cannabis sativa. And I found 37,000 people within a 25-mile radius from where I lived who were interested in cannabis sativa. And now we don't have to worry about the family and friends who say, we don't want to hear about that. Because you got 37,000 people to target, right? And so that's the power of social media. Some of these people that I end up getting, one lady was, she was what we call it, a professional dancer. And we'll show you a picture of her. Not that kind of dancer. Oh my God, that was funny. I know. I know, right? So and then we found one lady that was just nominated for one of the top 300 influential firefighting women in Chicago. So there's a lot of different dynamic women that came right through that group. And so you run your ad, you pick a budget. Sometimes I pick $1 a day. You can't go broke $1 a day. That's $30 a month. See, we can all find ways to make it affordable because we're not talking about breaking the bank. And when you do it right, you're not just out there saying, boost this post, which Facebook wants you to do,
Right, yeah.
because you don't know how to do it right and you're spending way too much money. When you do it this way, everything I do is pennies on the dollar. So if you want to do it pennies on the dollar, you have to learn what the professionals learn, and that's these techniques on demographic and targeting, right? So you pick your images, run your ads, you come up with your clever hook, and we always learn a one sentence and directing people. One of the biggest things about running an ad, you got to direct people and tell them what you want them to do. Because if you don't, guess what? They won't do anything. If you say, hey, click, like, and share. If you like anti-aging, can you imagine when cannabis is legal? Click, like, and share. If you like CBD, would be my ad. That's the one I'm at run all the time as soon as it's legal to run on Facebook, right? But when I was doing my anti-aging company, I said, click, like, and share if you love tips on staying young and healthy. So you just find something simple that people will say, oh, I like that. And that's how you start to develop people who want to come and connect with you and buy your products, right? You confirm your ads, right? And so pictures say 1,000 words. So you have to figure out who is your audience. When I was doing anti-aging, I knew my audience, right? They told me black don't crack. So guess what I did? I said, well, I'm going to build a team in Lithuania. I'm going to build a team in Italy. I'm going to build a team everywhere else besides, but guess what? In Africa, it was very popular for anti-aging. Nigeria was a big market for anti-aging. They love things with their skin, right? But guess what? If I was targeting natural hair, my ad might look like this. You got to figure out, who are you targeting? Because that matters. Certain people will respond based on what looks like them. If I'm trying to target people who are in my community, will I use this app? Probably not. No, right? You're going to use something that represents who you're trying to target. Because otherwise, what's going to happen is they're not going to hear you. They're going to tune you out. So just know a picture say 1,000 words, right? And then when I was doing the anti-aging, I would pick my image. Remember that image? We are always using that same image because it worked. We post an ad here, there. They'll be like clicking it, right? You find those hot images that work for the market you're trying to target, and you do it over and over and over and over. And so there's my ad. So I would come across, that's me, Anti-Aging Secrets. It says sponsored at 55,000 people like this page. 55,000 people. That's our page. I created it, right? But just like everyone else is out there doing those sponsored posts, you can do the same thing. What makes it different is just you have to learn what they learn. So this is the lady that I met that's a professional dancer. She's actually accredited. She does a lot of dance instruction, but she travels internationally to compete. She's a fierce dancer. And so when I had interviewed her for the business, because you have to interview people. See, that's the difference with posturing your business and just trying to beg people. You have to qualify people to see, are they qualified to work your business? So I set it up and I interviewed them to see how qualified they are. And what was exciting about her is we were doing a cannabis hair growth product, which we're going to be launching soon. And with that cannabis hair growth product, she was fascinated because you see her hair? That's not a weave. I just knew that was a weave when I met her. I said, that's a weave, right? Just like people thought mine was a weave, but I started using this cannabis hair growth product, hair grew. So she was using almost the exact same ingredients. She was like, I want to sell this product. I want to help you guys. I want to do whatever I can do. So we put together a Facebook page for hair growth just to test the market. In 7 days, we had over 3,540 people like that page and connect with that page to say, I want to learn more about your hair growth product. And that was just testing the market. Can you imagine what you can do, right? When you're really at this full force, if you're just duplicating what we've already learned and tried out ourselves to see what works in the marketplace. And so then you learn how to interview them. Because again, the posture is yours. You have to make sure they're qualified to be in your business. So you have prospects and you have suspects. And some people on your list are suspects. They're not prospects, right? And so you're going to learn, what do I say? How do I, introduce myself? How do I go out there and develop, the right type of conversation? How do I have the right posture? So yes, take a picture, right? So you requested information. Thanks for your interest. I would like to ask you a few questions so that I can see if I can help you, right? So you're going to see if you can help them. You might not be able to help them. See, a salesperson says, I have the solution. Sign up into my business. A consultant says, I don't know that I have the solution. I have something great. That's a solution for many people, but I need to see if you're qualified for what I have. That's the difference. So when you come at this as a consultant, you're going to have results that are exponentially more successful than those who are coming out at this as a salesperson. What is the best method for us to connect? That's very important. Why? Because a lot of times people are on Facebook, especially those over a certain age, maybe once a week. They don't do it every day like some people. Some of y'all might be on it every day, but the reality is if they're not on it every day, and if that's your only method for communicating, then you're losing out. So always find what's the best way to connect. It might be their cell phone, their email, they're gonna let you know. And then ask them, have you had past success? If you're looking for a business partner, have you had past success working on a project like this? So they can try to impress you. Oh yeah, I actually did this, I did that. It's up to you to really go out there and let them try to impress you. I can't tell you how many people would try their best. Oh, I can send you my resume. I can do this, I can do that, right? So it's all about reshaping how you communicate to people. See, most people, it's not that they don't have a shot at being successful. Most people just don't know the right questions to ask people. When you learn the right questions to ask people, you can reshape your life. Do you have any experience working or owning or running a business? That's a great question because you're trying to find out, do you have experience? And they're gonna let you know, do you have, so take out that D and put VE behind it, right? So do you have any experience owning or running a business? In fact, let me, as you do that, I'll correct it for you guys. You can take the picture of it with the right spelling. Here we go. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now it's gonna be all perfect. Oops, sorry. There we go. There we go. Do you have any experience owning or running a business? And see, then you take notes, right? Take notes. So then you can, let me move over something, move over. I don't want to get in the camera way though. You got it? No problem. Everybody got it? Wonderful. Okay, so 2. So I call this taking the temperature because here's the reality, folks. You want people that have some excitement in them. A lot of times we get excited about people that really have no energy to bring, no excitement, no enthusiasm. And then what happens? We got to try to breathe life into them. We got to try to beg them to get on a call, beg them to buy a product, beg them to come to a meeting, right? And before you know it, they done suck the life out of you, right? And so we want to find hot prospects, people that are excited and enthusiastic, people that have excitement, right? So I like to take their temperature. You know, I like to ask them, what is your number one skill or talent, right? What are you good at? Because it's important that they have something they're good at. Maybe they're a great singer, a great chef. If they have success in one area, now it's just up to you to show them how they can translate that past success into this new business. Find out what do they like to do for fun. This is not all about just making money. We like to have fun. So my E is entertain. What do you like to do for fun? What do you like to do to entertain yourself? You know, what are you motivated by? What motivates you to be here today? Find their why. Find what motivates them, what moves them. Pain. When you find someone's pain, guess what happens? Then you can offer things that can help get them out of their pain. See, most people live in pain, and I'm talking about sometimes mental pain, because they're attached to past things that happened to them. But see, with a business like this, we teach people to let go of that because your pain, your victories, all of that combines to lead to your purpose. When you understand your pain is a part of why you're having it, to have your purpose be birthed, then your mindset changes. And so we have to find in them what the issues are that are holding them back so that we can show them how that's all a part of the purpose God has for them, because he has a purpose for all of us. But a lot of times we don't know that because we don't have coaching, and you become a coach as you become a consultant with this. If you were to reach your goals today, how would you be living your life differently? Because now they're dreaming again. They're thinking again. You're already getting them thinking about, ooh, something positive. You're getting them out of the negative, right? Why would you like to work with me? So this is now where you see if they've done their homework. And what you're going to find is most prospects, before they get to that point, they've researched everything about you. And if your profile isn't together, guess what? Chances are you're not going to make it to this point. Because when they usually say, hey, when I ask them, why do you want to work with me? Oh my goodness, I've seen you do this and that. Because they're following what you're doing. They're looking at your profile. So get that together so that when you ask that, you start to get the feedback that helps you to go and develop whatever you're doing even better. So it's always great to have a feedback and assessment from those who you're prospecting. That's a very important question to ask. And so that's step 2. And we call this the interview that you're going to have with each one of your prospects. And assume the close. This is steps 3 through 6. See, at this point, guess what? You have to know they're ready. If they've stayed on to step 3, it's the assumption now is they're ready. So now you have to take the mindset of being the right consultant to help guide them to what works best for you, or what works best for them. So you got to now make a recommendation. Well, based on what I'm hearing, it sounds like the product is your best interest. So it seems to me, just based on what you shared, it looks like, hey, this is the product for you. So you're now being a good consultant. If they're really business minded, they're gung ho. Wow, based on what I've heard, it really sounds to me that you're a natural leader. You really like to start things where you can be positioned to win. And so I'm going to just make the recommendation that you should come in at the top level, the crown jewel, right? Is there anything today that would prevent you from coming in at the top level? So then they can give you the objection. You can write it down. Then you share your link. See, now for the first time, you give out your website. Most people give their website out step one, and we blow it every time. So can you imagine now you're giving your website out at step 5? And now at that point, if they're not ready to make a decision, you're handling the objection. Okay, let's talk about what is preventing you from making a decision today. And they might tell you it's the money, right? I need more information. And then what are you doing? You're now inviting them to the Dr. Rita webinar, the Tuesday night webinar. You're using a tool. You're still not trying to convince them and tell them all about the endocannabinoid system. The more you talk, the more you're going to lose in this business. The less you talk, the more you let other people talk, the more you're going to win. God gave you one mouth and 2 ears for a reason. Let's work with that. And guess what's happening? We can duplicate our business in a much better way. And so with that being said, the final part that you're going to learn in our social media mastery is content. Because now you're probably thinking, okay, Melissa, you tell me I can't show up on social media looking like a nightmare trying to sell a dream. So how do I not look like a nightmare? What do I need to do? It's all about content. And what content is thinking about what are the things you feel confident talking about on social media. Maybe getting into the cannabis industry, you want to focus on the recipes, the edibles. You're like, I'm a great chef. Let me work with that. I can break some brownies. You can focus on where you feel so you can be the queen of edibles, right? You can have a brand that really makes you appeal to your audience, but it's in a way you're comfortable creating content every day. Maybe you're just a naturally motivated person. You are always inspiring people. So you can, you know what? Every day I want to make sure I get up, I motivate my crowd, I give them a positive quote, give them some type of inspiration. So you got to start figuring out, maybe you're the type of person who you follow the cannabis industry trends, what's happening, and that interests you. And so that could be something you're posting. So when you're developing your content, you just got to think about what is it that I want to focus on? And let me make sure that when I'm focused on these areas, 70% of what I'm sharing is where I'm adding value to my clients. I'm giving them some type of knowledge and power. 20% of what I'm sharing is where I'm now recommending third-party websites, not necessarily your competitor, but like an article on cannabis, right? So you're recommending other experts so that you show that you're validating what you're talking about. And then 10% is where you're now showcasing what? Your products. See, most people, when they join a business, every day they start posting their products. Hey, here's my pretty products. Don't y'all love Wakana? That should be 10% of what you post. That means there's 90% that you need to figure out so that you can get the right result and people perceive you in a better way. So Facebook Live, who's been live on Facebook, right? So if you haven't been live yet, I challenge you to go live. If you've been live, keep going live. But here's what I would challenge you to do. Before you go live, sometimes you just got to do it to get to the fear out so you can realize it's not hard. But you want to start thinking about what is your brand as you're going live? What is it that you're talking about? Come up with subject matters for 45 days. Ask yourself, is this taking me closer to my brand, further away? Come up with your own unique things. You might have your own hashtag that you're going to share every time you're doing a Facebook Live. So if you have a hashtag you're sharing, it could be some kind of prop you have. You get on and you have a crown on, right? You have a marijuana leaf. You have something, right? Just come up with something to where you can be who you are, right? And so sometimes props kind of make us feel like Superman. Like we kind of have, like we step into a room, maybe we're shy, but for these 30 minutes, I'm not shy anymore. And do less. At first, do maybe a minute or two. Don't try to do 30 minutes because then you're going to stress yourself out. Sometimes it's just getting live and saying hi, connecting, letting them ask them questions about what are your thoughts about the CBD industry, just getting feedback. Sometimes you got to start where you're at, okay? So go live if you're not going live, okay? Everybody knows how to go live on Facebook. You know where to go live, right? So you go live on Facebook. If you don't know, we'll show you. Now, so here's some examples, guys, of how you can get creative. We were selling a weight loss product. We were selling a weight loss product with our other company. So I'm like thinking, how do I relate to the average person So I started the Lazy Girl Workout.
Yeah.
And the Lazy Girl Workout was where I was doing squats, but I used a ball. So I didn't have to go all the way down. And it became something that started catching on. Everybody was like, I'm waiting for the Lazy Girl Workout. So with cannabis, it's similar. You just got to figure out, what is my angle? How, because you want to really educate people, but it's also fun when you can entertain them. You get engagement. People start sharing your content. So just think about where you can be the best you, authentically you. Don't try to do what I'm doing, because it might not be you. Then you look like you're not being real and authentic to who you are. Okay, so these were just some examples of the Lazy Girl Workout. I was doing rebounding on my rooftop. You have to find ways to get attention. I was on the rooftop. I would go to the beach and do push-ups, right? I was just finding ways to get attention and to educate people, because on Facebook, that's what you do if you're trying to build your brand. And so there were months where I would put 53 customers in personally. Can you imagine? I get 53 customers on average, spending $159. Well, this is a part of the process. Remember, it all works together. So it's not one thing you do. Everything connects with the next thing to make the picture complete. Because now that you're doing this, it's just validating the other areas that you're doing. And then I would come up for the anti-aging company. I would come up with like, okay, what are the top 10 anti-aging foods? I don't know. So what did I do? Don't say Google, because you can't say that it's a trademark word there, apparently, right? So I have to say, I go to my favorite search engine and I put in, what are the top foods? Then I would list them. And guess what happened? 533 people liked that post, right? Not only did 533 people liked it, oops, sorry guys, we're on, you won't see it for the next few slides, we're almost done anyway, but they can see it online. So for those of you online, you can still see it. I'm gonna take this off right here. So if you're online, just stay with us because you're fine. We just took their little visuals off, right? So 533 people liked that post. But look at this, folks, 247 people shared it. Wow. Can you imagine if 247 people shared your post? Let's say on average, those people have 1,000 friends. That's 247,000 more people that are getting exposed to your brand. And so that's why you have to create stuff where you're giving it away. I wasn't saying join my business, here's my link. I was giving it away. And by giving it away, they come back for more. So by the time you post this thing about your product, they're okay with that because they feel like you've earned the right to share your product because you've given them so much knowledge and so much value. And so with that being said, the last slide, for those of you who are looking at, just shows you the picture of the page. It's at Anti-Aging Secrets. It has a picture of all the people that are following, over 55,000 people. And so that's the way we do this, guys. We do it in steps. And so I would just encourage you to, as we wrap up this session, we'll stay around and help anyone who's here live in Dallas. If you're on the phone, we have our advanced training coming soon. So I do see there's a lot of folks still on the line. So thank you for staying as long as you stayed. They've stayed with us the whole day, right? And so, but in recap, if we go right back to the beginning of where we started with what? You have to chat, right? That CHAT. That's the bread and butter of what you do repeatedly. It's free to do that. Then you want to take your brand to the next level, right? You want to take your brand to the next level. You know, then you're going to advertise when you go to some of the advanced classes, and then you're going to learn how to build the content. So for those of you who joined at the Crown Jewel level, congratulations, the 8-hour class, and you get to watch it over and over. So imagine just everything I shared today times 8.
Right.
And you can repeat it over and over because you get a video archive of all this. You can watch it at your leisure. And for those of you who haven't invested at the Crown Jewel level, you can still purchase it a la carte for $199. That's another way for you to go get the class that you need so that you can legally operate within the Wakana guidelines, because we want to make sure you're legally compliant with us, because it keeps our company at the top of the level when it comes to posting the right things. And so with that said, thank you all for tuning in from all around the country. We love you guys. I'll be back in Chi-Town. Yes. I'll be back in Chicago on Monday. So I'll see all of you on the line Monday. So thank you all. Have a great, great, great night. Bye-bye, everyone.